Hi, this is Paul Hitchcock with Wealth Protector TV. Thanks for joining. I'm here with Mark Thomas, who is a Vistage chair. Vistage is the world's largest CEO and executive peer-to-peer advisory group. Fantastic organization. And Mark, I want to ask you, just jump into this, is you work with a lot of entrepreneurs and owners. What is the benefit of working with a business coach?
Right. So it's, as they say, it's lonely at the top.
Yeah,
There aren't a lot of folks that we can talk to as CEOs. Most of us, our coworkers have an agenda, if you will. Even our family members have a bias and a perspective that may not always be in the best interest of the business. So having a coach is the opportunity to think aloud, to kind of validate our thinking, maybe check us on maybe some of our blind spots as CEOs and business owners.
Right. Yeah, and when you say lonely at the top, it's a funny statement to say about a guy who runs a company, a bunch of people, everything's going on, all this activity, but you say that because he doesn't or she doesn't have a direct peer at the company to talk to, right? The managers and executives. Is that what you mean by lonely at the top?
Yeah, there's nobody else that has as much on the line as that CEO or business owner in terms of liability, risk, opportunity for failure as well as success.
Right. Which means that when they come into Vistage, they're at a table sitting with their peer group, and it's open door policy, right? I mean, you get into it and there's no holding back. Is that right?
Indeed.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by other CEOs and business owners that have the same goals in mind, that have the same purpose, they have a vested interest in your success as much as they have their own.
And you've walked that path yourself.
Indeed.
I mean, I know about your background, we've talked, but you ran your own business. You know, tell me a little bit about that and your experience with a coach yourself.
Yeah, earlier in my career, I was running a business for a Japanese parent company, and I had the benefit of a coach that provided that guidance, if you will.
And it was at a time when the coaching business wasn't this massive thing. And
no, it was really early. There wasn't as much of an industry as there is today. But he was invaluable to me in terms of my development. I was a young CEO, and having somebody as a sounding board and somebody that I could check in with, and also somebody that would hold me accountable.
I was just thinking about that, the accountability of Vistage. You know, I've been fortunate enough to learn about Vistage over the years, and that accountability thing is huge. It's hard sometimes when I go to Vistage events and I see what's going on. You know, people are holding you to the fire.
Right.
You know, you can't blow it off like you blow things off maybe at home or in other places, right? I mean, this is, people are going to be in your face if you don't follow through.
Most of us know what to do, and but some of us have a hard time pulling the trigger or following through on what we know needs to be done. And so having peers, other CEOs that are on the hot seat like you are, others that have struggled with you, same as you, with some of the decisions that we have to make as CEOs and business owners, it's reaffirming to have that, and yes, it does provide that level of accountability that sometimes we need.
Yeah, and it's not a negative thing, right? I mean,
Not at all.
it's a positive thing where people aren't on you in a bad way. It's just that sometimes it's hard to prioritize things, but people are helping you to prioritize and stick to it. Is that a fair statement?
It is, and I think sometimes, even though we're leaders and we've done quite well getting to that level, we still sometimes need that affirmation, or we need some level of confirmation that we're on the right track to proceed.
And so you're having, as part of your process, you have the group discussions, all your members roundtable, and you're doing your thing. What are some of the things that go on at that meeting? Because I know you have your one-on-ones too.
Yes. Yeah, so, and this is all shrouded in strict confidence.
Right.
And, but with that understanding that the CEOs feel comfortable, they're in a safe space, if you will, where they can talk openly and candidly about what they're wrestling with as business owners and leaders. And it's not always problem solving. very often it's more strategic. We're looking at a number of different ways of growing the business, and we're at a crossroads, and we're looking for, again, some validation about our thinking, and so rarely are we telling a CEO, a fellow CEO, what to do. It's more about listening and
Right.
maybe asking questions and helping them kind of think through their options.
You get involved in kind of the big picture of someone's life too, of they got the business, but they also have a family, and how you kind of manage both.
Indeed, and they're inextricably connected.
Yeah.
So we're mindful of that, and we want to, as CEOs and business owners, we want to have a work-life balance, and ultimately we want to have, be able to take advantage of the freedom and the independence that comes with business ownership,
Mhm.
not only from a financial perspective but from a time perspective.
Are you a quarterback? What's your role in this whole thing?
Some might characterize it in that fashion. I am careful to really maintain a coaching hat as opposed to a consulting hat. I try to resist the temptation to tell somebody what to do. I'm there to help them kind of think through their options and find their answers.
Yeah, but there's an art to telling somebody what to do without them thinking you're telling them what to do, right? Because
Yes.
you've run a business, you've been very successful, and I'm sure there are times where you say, "Gosh, I know the answer to that. I want
Right.
to tell them this." I'm sure you can get to that by being strategic and thoughtful about it.
Yeah, and you want the ownership to be in the hands of the CEO.
Yeah.
It's not my idea that they're implementing, it's theirs.
Yeah, you got some personalities probably in there, some strong personalities, I imagine, for
Yes.
these folks.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, and you, when you're on the accountability side, is it actually action items that people have, commit to doing that come out of these sessions, and then you're meeting with them one-on-one? So is the one-on-one a deeper dive and stuff?
It can be. Very often it's helping the CEO frame a discussion that we're gonna have in the group meeting.
Oh, okay.
Because the real value, it comes from the group discussions. And so typically that's what we'll do in the one-to-ones, is talk about what's going on in the business, what issues they're dealing with at the moment. And if they have a topic for discussion that they'd like to bring to the group, then we help in presenting that and framing that conversation.
And I've seen all the stats on Vistage about owners who are involved with Vistage and how their businesses seem to just run more efficiently, grow faster, more, tightly pulled together. It's just amazing what comes out of, being in Vistage.
Indeed. In fact, Vistage does surveys every year, third-party independent surveys of member companies, and the data shows that Vistage member companies are typically growing at a rate of 2.2 times the rate of non-Vistage member companies.
It's a big number, yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
and it reaffirms the value that comes from being a part of this organization.
Love it. Sign me up.
Yes.
Thank you, Mark, very much. And thank you, everybody, for jumping on. We'll see you next time.